So basically, we've had a lot of people ask about different shift levers, what they can get, what we offer. So what we've decided to do is make a super adjustable offset system. Basically, for all of the shifters that we make, aside from the ones that are intended to fit vehicle-specific application. What we got on the table here is a 6-bolt Magnum, the TKX, and a Magnum XL shifter base. And so what we're calling this style is a revolver lock. So you can see the different holes in these offset pieces. On the table we have a 1-inch offset, a 2-inch offset, and a 3-inch offset, which indicates the distance between the center line of the holes and how they mount. The one on the 6-bolt shifter here is a 2-inch offset, and it's currently clocked at a 45 to the left from center forward, and it is, like I say, it's 2 inches off on this one. The TKX is currently set up at a 1-inch offset, and from dead back, or from what I would call 180, I would call forward 0, and I would call all the way back a 180 in this case. This one is actually clocked 22.5 degrees over. So there are a few shifters on the market that have a similar style to this, where you can rotate these offsets and manipulate the positioning of the stick to where it's moving around a 360 degree range. But the ones that we've seen are 45 degree increment adjust. So you can get it in 8 locations around. And I wanted a little more adjustment than that. I wanted to stand out. I wanted it to be a little bit better of a product. So we went to the drawing board and came up with this 22.5 degree adjust. So it has twice the adjustability and rotation as those other offerings.
So 16 positions?
16 rotational positions, and currently 3 offsets to match that. So 16 times 3.
And the cool thing is, these are all based on our current billet short throw shifters. So you're still getting the capability of a swap shifter while still having all that short throw and billet, O-ring, all the benefits that we have with our standard.
Yeah, that's correct. So you still get the standard 15% reduction in throw. You still get your O-ring sealing, as you can see here. High quality construction, bearing steel pivot points inside. The offset pieces themselves are actually stainless steel, so they're 300 series stainless steel, so they're not going to rust on you. We don't need to send them out to have some sort of janky coating put on them. They just look good right out of the machine. And these are pre-production parts here, so we're not looking at finalized pieces, but we're looking at something very close to the finalized piece in this imagery here. As you can see, this shifter has drilled out for 4 pinholes, and where there's only 2 pins in it, and that was for testing purposes, for something that I was testing on it. But the final design will have these 2 pinholes in it. And this is the top portion that's bolted on here. And the way that this works is it has your standard Hurst 2-hole pattern. They're tapped 3/8 24. So you can buy any stick that's made for a Hurst 2-bolt pattern. Stick it on this, bolt it right up. So there's going to be multiple options out there. There's billet handles, there's some laser cut handles, there's strain gauge handles, there's big arch swooping levers out there that you can buy for this Hurst 2-bolt pattern, and this is made to accept anything you need to use. The reason for the 2 pinholes, they're not clocked in line with this handle adapter. The reason for that is to get that 22.5 degree adjustment. This bracket, or your offsets rather, they have to be inverted. And for demonstration purposes, we machined one side of this one to have, turn this one over, you can see it a little better side by side. So you can see how this has ridges in it, and this is a smooth side. So what I wanted to highlight here is you can see on this 6-bolt shifter that this side's smooth, and currently it's at one of your 45 degree locations. So this one could go 0 and 45 in every direction, just like this. The adapter portion is made to clock along with it. That way, instead of it just traveling around like this, it can travel around in this manner. So it can always be facing forward, and your bolts can always be 90 degrees to the shifter housing.
And you did that with the offset of these holes, or you did?
That's
that
correct.
Just offers you to be able to flip it.
Yeah, that's correct. So these holes are offset by 22.5 degrees from the holes in the stick, offset by 22.5 degrees in rotation. And so what that allows you to do is, when one side is facing up, you get your 45 locations. And then if you need to go from, say, 0 to 22.5, you would have to flip that offset to the other side. So you would physically take your bracket and flip it this way, and now you can get those 22.5 degree locations. So it's double-sided. You'll be able to run it either side up, and the reason for that is so you can achieve the 22.5 degree rotation.
Cool. This is wild. This is really cool.
Yeah, it took me like 2 hours to come up with this. I'm not gonna lie. It's pretty wild.
You're telling me I can put my bench back in my Malibu.
Yeah. So the way that these will come would be unassembled. It would be up to you to clock it to how you need it. Obviously, that's the best thing to do anyway. The final product, like I say, it'll have these 2 pins. This part will also have 2 pins. The pins will come pre-pressed into the pivot stick inside of the shifter housing, and they will also be pre-pressed into this adapter. And the reason for that is because we made the pins press fit on these 2 sides, and we left the pin holes to be with clearance on the offsets, and that's to make assembly a little easier. It's still a very snug fit. You know, you'll have to work it down on there because everything we do, we try to do with precision as much as we can. So these holes are, you know, within about 2.5 thousandths of the pin diameter. It's a very tight fit, a very good positive fit, and just makes for a good. It doesn't leave it being clunky after it's bolted together. Because there's only a singular bolt holding the assembly together, it would be real easy for that interface to be loose, and we didn't want that. On the subject of the single bolt, this is a 7/16 20 threaded bolt, so it's a very large, very strong bolt. I couldn't see any scenario where someone could break this bolt. It's super strong. It's a little oversized for the job, but we did it that way for durability. So this will be available for your standard F-body style with the typical 4-bolt rectangular pattern, the 6-bolt Magnum, TKX, the Magnum XL, which is also the same bolt pattern as a Cobra. Availability on these will be your standard kit, and then you'll select which offset you want, your 1-inch, 2-inch, or 3-inch, or there will also be an option for a master kit where you can get all 3 offsets, you know, just in case you're not sure which one you need. That way you don't have to come back later and purchase a different one if you didn't get the right one the first time. So if you purchase the master kit and you get the 1-inch, 2-inch, and 3-inch offset, you have a total of 48 possible combinations as far as shifter location is concerned. Also, to go along with that, we still offer our universal fit style stick. So we have our standard 6-bolt that would come with your standard 2-bolt Hurst pattern directly in the middle as an option as well.